Then I just went to him, I talked to him, I coached him, and he was able to multiply what he already had.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Sujata Bajracharya, who is the founder and CEO of Elevate Empire. She empowers visionary leaders and entrepreneurs to grow their business, align their team to a unified vision, and operate at their highest potential. She has worked with top global leaders as a business and leadership strategist and helped them 15x their performance in life and business. Her mission is to elevate the world by elevating leaders and businesses. She's also a singer and fashion entrepreneur. Recently, she released her first album, 33. So, Sujata, welcome and glad to have you here.
It's an honor to be here, Daniel. Thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure. So, let's dive right into it. It seems like your business, Elevate Empire, is really about leadership coaching. So, what got you, I guess, how did you decide to get into leadership coaching?
So, my background, my educational background, I did my MBA in strategic leadership, right? And at that time, I didn't have, roadmaps thinking like, okay, I'll be a leadership coach. But then the journey, right? So I was working in IT in tech for about 8 years as EDI analyst and project management. And, working in different environments, I see the power of leadership, right? So leadership is what determines the success and failure of a team, of a company, of a city, of a country, right? And for a long time, I thought I'm just this little girl, what impact can I make? But then I thought, what if I help leaders, right, become great? Then I can multiply my impact.
That's a great, very great way of putting it. So, able to
Yeah.
expand out your reach by affecting the leaders first, and then from there to trickle down.
Absolutely, because they have such a big impact, right? Even in an organization, in a team, in a city, in a country, how big or how small we can go, even in a family, right? And so that's why I started leadership coaching because I want leaders to be great so that they can lead their team in a positive direction and elevate their organization.
Got it. Now,
Mhm.
the type of people that you're looking at for leadership coaching, is it entrepreneurs? Is it people in sports space? Is it people like in the nonprofit space? Like, or is it kind of all encompassing?
So I would say it's not industry based, right? So the leaders I have been coaching, they are entrepreneurs. They are, some of them are like artists, right? Known artists. And what I say is they're already good at what they do, right? That's why they built a company, they built their business. But me working with them is like igniting what they already have, right?
Mhm.
So that they can expand their impact.
Got it. Now, Sujata, you have a tagline, I didn't rise to be seen, I rose to see clearly, which is a very evocative tagline. Would you mind sharing what you mean by that and really how that journey of rising began for you?
So for me, I have always been an introvert, right? The most common question people asked me was, why are you so quiet?
Hmm.
All my life, right? And sometimes it was kind of like annoying because why are you asking me? I just like to be quiet, right?
I feel you on that one.
Yes, and then even my career, right, in tech, I don't have to talk much, right? I can just sit behind a computer and do my work without like actually talking, communicating with people. So that has been my life, most of my life. But then few years ago, I decided to leave my job and then start my own business, right? And that's when I'm like, okay, if I don't put myself out there, get out of my comfort zone, right? Because to help others, we also have to put ourselves out there.
Mm.
Otherwise, we cannot serve, right?
Mhm.
I have all this big vision, I have this dream of making an impact, but if I am not, there to be visible by the world, then I won't be able to serve them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very well spoken. Yeah, I can kind of see how that, why you want to get to that high point, just so you can have more of that influence, more of that reach, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Got it. Now, you've had personal struggles and transformed them into your leadership style. So, was there a pivotal moment where when you decide that you really want to lead rather than wait for others to do the leading?
I would say it's a gradual process, right? But even when I was working in tech, right? Whenever I see like news which is like not that great, right? Like all these corrupted leaders doing bad things, not caring about people. And I'm always like, why? The people in power, they should do things for good, right? Not for bad. But
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I'm just this little girl. Even if I speak, then who is going to listen, right? So I kept quiet for a really, really, really long time. And then I would say it's a gradual process. So after I started my own business, right? And that's when I also faced few challenges, I would say,
Mhm.
Even me leaving my job was because of a bad leader,
Mhm.
right? And then even me, when I was growing up, I didn't see good leadership, right? And then like I saw like the impact of good leader. So I went to Dubai, and then there like I saw how like in 50 years a sand desert was converted into a city with everything. And then I'm like, wow, see what leadership can do, right? Like, and then I compared good leader and bad leader. When there is a bad leader, it goes down. And when it's a good leader, he can convert nothing into everything.
Very well said. Now, you,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like good leaders and bad leaders, and there's also this concept of soulful leadership that you talk
Yes.
about. So, could you explain what is soulful leadership?
So soulful leadership is, for me, like whatever I do, it's not just like words or money, right? Not just material things. I do it from my heart, from my soul, right? So if I am working with somebody, it's not just the exchange of money or exchange of things, right? It's mostly like, okay, I am contributing, like my service with my soul. And that is something that I help leaders as well, because I've met like billionaires, right? They have climbed the success ladder, but then still they have billions of dollars, but then they're still unfulfilled. And what's the point of building the $1 billion, success and not being fulfilled, right? So that's why I empower leaders to get in touch with their soul. So, whatever business, whatever organization you're building, is it aligned with your soul? Or are you just doing it to make $1 million a month or something like that, right?
Mhm.
But if it is not aligned with your soul, then even if you make like 100 million, you won't be fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that I coach leaders, not just like helping them grow their business, but also helping them be aligned with their soul.
Mm. Now, with the soulful leadership, you also blend systems thinking with that type of
Yes.
leadership. So these concepts don't always necessarily go hand in hand. So how are you able to integrate these two things, having that structure, but also having the spirit in it as well?
Yes, so that is something, people, whenever I talk, people think I'm just this spiritual, soulful person, right? But
Mm.
I have this whole other side where it's all about systems, right? So I combine everything. So with my company, Elevate Empire, it's about empowering, educating, and elevating, right? So when
Mhm.
it comes to empowering, the core is being aligned with your soul. And then education is super important, right? Learning about all the business components. And then elevation happens when we have systems in place. And then when we follow that system, put that system in place, that's when, a business can scale. So
Mm,
that's how I integrate it. But then, I think I still struggle with my messaging, right? Because when I talk, people think I'm, oh, whatever. But if I put myself in the spectrum, I am from like left to right, right? Like I have this soulful side as well as the system and analytical side.
mm. Okay, and that's how you're able to combine the two.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Now, Sujata, your brand also speaks to building with discipline, divinity, and unwavering purpose. So, how do these elements show up in the way that you guide leaders and that you teach them to really up level their skill sets?
So, purpose is so important, right? If you don't have a purpose, then what's the point of building, right? There is no anchor. So it's super important for every leader to understand their why they're building, why they're working, why they're putting like 10, 12 hours of their day doing something, right?
Mhm,
So that's when you know, get in touch to their soul. Okay, what is your soul wants, right? And
mhm.
what is your soul here to do?
Got
And
it.
when you align that, right, when you are aligned with your soul, your purpose, then the elevation is limitless because you have this unshakable foundation that arises from your purpose, from your soul.
Hmm. Okay. Now, your mission really is to create a happy world by elevating leaders and businesses. So, in this ideal world, I mean, what does this world look like to you?
So in this ideal world, like I said, our time is limited, right? We as a humans, our life is just a short distance from the day we were born to the day we leave this earth. It's just a short distance. It's just passing by. As we're talking, our time is just moving on, right?
Mhm.
And what I want people to do is live a fulfilled life, right? By doing what they love to do, by doing good things, right? So that is my ideal world, I would say.
Mhm. Okay. And so then how do these happy elevated leaders contribute to that world?
Mhm. So when people are happy, right? That's when they share happiness. You see all these like crazy crimes and all. That happens when people are miserable and sad. And that's when they go out and hurt other people. But then when you see a happy person, they don't go out and like hurt other people, right?
Mhm.
Happy people, they don't go out and hurt other people. Happy people are the ones who share happiness, who share their knowledge, their happiness, whatever, right? So, and then the other way, it's like, hurt people, they go out and hurt other people. So, my mission is to create more happy, positive people so that and then, align them to their purpose so that they go out and share more of that.
Got it. Very clear. So basically, they're they're the candle, they're able to light other candles in the dark.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Right? Now, Sujata, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about stepping into that leadership role? If they have some hesitation, they're not quite sure what to do. Like, what type of advice would you give to someone like that?
When you say hesitation, what's the reason of the hesitation? I would ask him or her that, right?
Hmm.
Because hesitation can be fear, right? Hesitation can be lack of confidence.
Hmm.
Hesitation can be lack of knowledge, right? So that would be the first question that I would ask. And then after figuring that out, then, maybe next suggestion.
Hmm. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
let's just take someone as an example. Let's say that they have some hesitation because they just don't have the confidence. So, what
Uh-huh.
would be the first step that you'd encourage them to take to try and get on that journey of building their confidence so they can eventually see themselves in a leadership role?
So confidence doesn't come after you succeed, right? Confidence comes after you take the first step. So I would say just do it, right?
Mhm.
Even though you're not confident, right, in stepping into that position, Once you take the first step, then you gain a little bit more confidence. And once you start walking, you keep getting better and better, and you become more confident. So confidence is like actually doing it. You build confidence by actually doing it.
Mm,
But then if you don't do it, then you will never, you know, step into that. And there will always be this thing like, okay, when, right? And that when is never going to come because you can't keep waiting. You just have to step into it and
mhm.
then start walking and then you start running, right? And then you fly.
It all starts with the first step.
Yes, absolutely.
Got it. Now,
Hmm.
balancing that inner growth with the strategy mindset, that can be tough for a lot of people. So, are there any tools or practices that you recommend for them to be able to balance that, the mind, the body, and the soul into leadership?
Absolutely. You know, two things that are key, I would say, is having an attitude of gratitude
Mm,
and then being mindful because gratitude already puts you in a position of positive vibration, right?
mhm,
When you think of things that you already have. And then mindfulness is every day you are mindful about your actions in your life, in your business, right? Like, and being specific about things would be, you know, mindfulness would be meditation, right? Journaling, like going on nature walks, you know, so that you can balance the business side, but also have uh, this get in touch with your mind, body, and soul.
okay. Now, I'm curious, Sujata, is there maybe a story that you wouldn't mind sharing as far as maybe one of the people you've worked with, how you were able to help them, like where they started, how you were able to help them, and really the end result of what
Mhm.
they got to with your help and guidance?
Yes, absolutely. You know, so like I said, how I help is igniting what is already within you, right? So I'm one example is I helped an artist. He's already a great artist, right? And when I was working with him, I didn't teach him, coach him to sing, right? But then he already was a great artist doing his things. But then when I was working with him, he was able to get like 15x results, and then some of his songs like hit like billion views.
Wow.
Yes, and it's not like I taught him like how to sing or how to perform, right? He already had that.
Mhm.
But then I just went to him, I talked to him, I coached him, and he was able to multiply what he already had, right? So the fire was already there, little, right? For example, this is fire. So working with me, this fire just got like ignited and it got bigger. So he was able to do more.
Got it. And it's really, I guess, really about unlocking more of your inner or
Absolutely.
hidden potential.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, Sujata, you're also a singer as well. Not only that, but a fashion entrepreneur. So, how would you say that your music and creativity influences your work and leadership?
So for me, music is something that I'm really passionate about, right? And even for my music, it is, I want to spread like positive vibration. So if you listen to my music, it is all about empowerment as well as like sharing happy vibes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So even through that channel, my goal is to empower
Mhm.
people. Mhm.
And how did you get into singing?
So I've been singing ever since I was little, right? And that was like my favorite thing to do. And after I moved to US, I got busy with like school, with work and all. So I didn't sing for like about 12 years. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I want to sing. And then never ever have I like taken any music classes. You know, it was just something that I was passionate about. And 2019 was when I took my first songwriting class, and I felt like, you know, I didn't know anything. And they were teaching us all these notes, right? All these A, B, C, D. And I'm like, wow, I know nothing. But then that's when it started. And 2020, I moved to Los Angeles. And by the end of 2020, December 2020 was the first song that I released.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
you being a leadership coach, has that affected your singing in some way?
So, like I said, singing is something that I do as my creative outlet, right? Yeah. So, like I don't consider myself, I would say like I don't put myself in labels, right? That is something because even when I meet people, right, I have like multiple labels. I would say I'm a leadership coach, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a singer, I'm a, fashion designer. There's so many labels, right?
Mhm.
So I prefer not to put myself in a label, and then that's why I created my own label.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is your own label?
My own label is Lakshnova.
And what does that stand for?
That means new light.
And can you explain a little bit more what you mean by new light?
So new light is like, my mission is to empower people to be their best version, right? And
Mhm.
so wherever I go, I just want to share my light and then help them ignite their own light.
Got it. That's a great way
Yeah.
of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jazza, I want to touch on you being a fashion entrepreneur as well. So, could you tell us a little bit about what that means, being a fashion entrepreneur, what type of brand you have, and kind of what you do there?
Mm-hmm. So I love fashion, right? My family, they have been in fashion. But then growing up, my dad, he was like, no, you're not going to fashion. You become like a doctor, engineer, whatever, right? And so I didn't get into fashion. I studied IT, I did strategic leadership. And then after I left my job, I really, that has always been there. When I was little, I used to just draw like clothes and then give it to our workers, and they used to just make clothes for me, right? And I'm like, I want to do something with fashion. So that's when I started my fashion brand. So in my fashion brand, I design few of them, but most of them are I sell other designers. In Los Angeles, there's so many amazing designers, right? So what I do is I showcase their products in my website, and it's all unique, very unique and elegant clothes.
Mhm.
And my purpose there is to make women, feel confident in their own true selves.
Nice. Well, it's a very great goal to be shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sujata, part of I guess all your businesses, so the singing side, the Elevate Empire side, the fashion side of it, what do you envision is really what's next for you for your businesses? Like, what are you really bidding towards? Like, what's your vision for the companies?
So my overall vision, like I said, my why is like helping leaders, right? If I feel like I am making an impact, my businesses are making an impact towards my community, towards my city, towards the world. That what makes me happy.
Hmm,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, well, Sujata, I have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I do want to point people to your website at sujatabajracharya.com.
Mhm.
Now, last question is, what does beauty mean to you?
Beauty is the true essence, right? And it's not just like external beauty for me, like uh, even, it doesn't matter how you look, right? It's about what is inside your heart,
Hmm.
right? And that's from your heart, it radiates. So for me, internal beauty is what makes you beautiful. And then external beauty is like what you call cherry on top of the cake or something like that, right?
Awesome. Okay. Well, there you have it. Sujata sharing her knowledge and expertise. So, Sujata, where can people contact you and your business?
So, mostly you can just DM me in my Instagram, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be sujata.bajracharya.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
Sujata, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being part of the show and sharing your message.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.